Well, gentlemen, we've finally got a decent cooler day around here, though it's still threat of rain. But it is the first week, the first meeting in August, and you think about August. This is the last summer month, really. When I think about it, September, for all intents and purposes, to me is fall, even though it's not until September 23rd. But here we are. But anyway, I hope you guys are coping okay with the weather, the hot, humid, and rainy weather we've been having. I don't have many announcements, although I'll throw one out your way, guys. You might have seen that that Bob had sent a constant contact for a RCA
Oh,
SVT1 with the SP20 amplifier. Yeah, I've been I've been talking with the woman, over email on that, and it's a really neat unit. So if any of you guys are looking for something really interesting, do try and chase that down and take it
no,
home.
if I still lived up there, I'd probably already be in my workshop. That I love those big old beasts with,
Well,
lots
that
of tubes and lots of power.
yeah, especially that one, the SP20, giving 20 watts of, I know it's mono, but I'm sure it's well regarded. In fact, I did a little research. I was kind of curious because I didn't know a whole
Yeah.
lot about their amplifier, and I said, wow, that's actually pretty well regarded.
You just
Uh,
that all that means is that you just have to find a second one.
right. There you go. But I don't think she really wants much for it. She didn't even know how to put a price, what to put on it, and I'm sure that hopefully some member will, will throw something her way, and find a good home for this. And I think it does come with an additional Garrard turntable I think it's is it like an RC 88/4, which is from like the late 50s, and that's actually a well-regarded turntable. I don't
Yeah.
think that it didn't come with that, couldn't have come with the unit,
No.
but certainly, you know, I think she's going to just throw that in, and somebody might get a pretty cool turntable that they might be able to do something with, because they are well regarded. So if and otherwise the unit looks in pretty nice shape, and it's one of those, I think, one family owner units, because she was saying that she recalls, it was being played, has been played in a while. She remembered how nice sound it had, which I have to believe with that amplifier, it has to be pretty terrific sounding unit. Because you look at the speaker, it's a good sized speaker on that baby.
Oh yeah.
It's no, it's pretty honking.
Yeah. And I think it's even a Jensen or something.
It is.
Yeah. So
It
it's a
is
good
indeed.
speaker.
Yeah. So you're not.
There was another club. I don't know, maybe it was the Illinois club. I get lost every once in a while. All these different things start coming in. There was like a really nice Zenith chair side.
Mhm.
Um, Maybe
Yeah,
Greg, you saw that one?
that was at Radio Fest. It didn't sell, so he must have inherited that and is trying to sell it for the owner. I
Yeah.
think it's
So if
about
you,
a 42.
That looked pretty interesting.
Yeah,
mm,
because it's blonde wood.
Yep. No,
yeah, not very
well, I,
common.
I thought about you. It's like I could take care of everything that was inside the cabinet, but then I was looking at the to make that worthy of being able to sit in the living room. It's like I'd have to send the cabinet to you. And then,
Is that the later post-war that had the FM on it or two FMs on it?
I didn't look at it that close, Bob. It might have been. It seems to me that one had a folding door in the front and a record player came on.
yes, yes,
We had one of them in our museum at our
Okay.
museum. It was cool. You hit a button and the door would come down, and the
Door
turntable
comes
would come
on
out
the
gently with the.
yep.
Oh, that was so cool.
record.
And that wasn't even being sold. That one was being offered for free.
Right.
Oh,
Luckily for me, all these cool things are now like over 1,000 miles away, so I'm safe.
Unless you're willing to make that hop in your Ford and run up
Yeah.
there, fill her up.
fill the flex and take off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But
How are the car shows down there, Noah?
Good. I was telling the guys before you jumped on. I went to. They weren't really shows. They were more like cars. In the summertime, they it's upside down living. So in the summertime on the weekends, they have what they call cars and coffee. So they have events that start at like 7:30 in the morning and 9 o'clock in the morning, so that everybody is done by 11. because it's hasn't hit even 90 degrees yet by 11 o'clock. So they go to these morning events.
Any of them have flea markets to go along?
They're usually separate events down here. They're not usually combination events. And like the flea markets are generally 2 and 3 day type events. They're like Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of things.
Yeah.
And
We got a big one up here in Vermont. It used to be called the Stowe Car.
oh yeah, I used to go every year, and then they
Yeah.
moved it over to Waterbury.
Yeah, I moved to Waterbury and I'm only about 20 minutes from Waterbury. So I'm really counting every day I go up there and just load up with that I don't need for
Oh yeah,
3 days straight. I
Yep.
did try and sell there a couple of times and did pretty well.
Yep.
Actually, there was one time I think you were about to buy one of my one longer engines
Yes,
that I had for
exactly.
sale up there.
You know,
And
it's funny. I still look around from time to time down here, but being in Texas, when I come across one, all the ones that are down here are still in use. You know, they're running some kind of a pump, or they're running, you know, some kind
yeah,
of piece of farm equipment or something. So
yeah.
they're not toys down here. They're actually still working.
That's
Well, the
right.
problem with Friday, which is the first day of the show and the day that anybody wants to buy serious stuff is going to go, is that doggone hurricane is on its way, and they're forecasting torrential rains at the show. And I don't know whether you've ever been up there when it rains, but
Oh yeah.
the mud becomes several feet deep, and even the big four-wheel drive tractors have trouble getting people out.
No, I remember a couple of different years when it was at the old place at Stowe along Route 100, where there were bulldozers going up and down, and they were throwing copious amounts of hay and straw on top of the mud and dropping gravel and doing all kinds of things, because
Yeah.
that's that combination car show and flea market, and the show cars couldn't get on the field.
Yeah, they can't get. Yeah, they can't cope with that. Yeah.
No, they know if you got a really nice car, you're not going to get it down to the axles in mud. You know, you're
Yeah.
just going to say thanks, but no thanks.
The
Exactly.
only guys that did okay at that show were the military guys with a
Right.
full of tanks and with a half track or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So let's see here in terms of other announcements. So, okay, so events to look ahead. August 18th, so we're about another 11 days away or so, is we'll have another flea at the MIT Swap Fest. So, Tom, I'm not sure if we'll find you there, but if anyone's interested, it's at the usual location from 9 to 2 p.m.
Now, it's pretty slow in the summer, John. I don't usually go in August, July or August. It's too much hassle for me. It's about a 3 hour drive and then I
Yeah.
have to sleep overnight on the street in
Oh,
Boston to
right.
get my place. And it's not a lot of fun.
Got
80,
it.
my kids say, "Are you out of your mind?" And I am.
Yeah, you say yes, and so is everyone else who attends the event. So, you
Yeah.
know,
There you go. You were among like crowd.
yeah.
There is a big HamFest coming up in Marlborough, Mass on the 26th, I think it is, or 23rd, something
Yeah,
like.
yeah. It's the 23rd to the 25th, Tom. Absolutely,
Yeah.
in Marlboro.
I'm going to be talking about spy radios as usual, and I'll drag out an enigma or two.
Excellent, excellent. Well, be sure, Marlboro is not far from many people. So, except for, like you, Noah, this is a little out of the way. But also on August 18th, for what it's worth, there is a vinyl record show called Music Expos in Derry, New Hampshire. I believe that's from 10 to 3 p.m. So if you're into vinyl, there's a show in New Hampshire to coincide with the flea market at MIT. And I think those are probably all the announcements to be made before the next Zoom meeting. I don't think there's anything else the only other thing I can offer announcement-wise is, September 28th is starting to march onwards. So if you're thinking about selling, don't forget to get your tables at Brookline, and hopefully the weather will be good. September's weather usually is good. We hope it will be, but so do order your tables there. But So, any of you guys have any announcements, anything you'd like to show or talk about? Um, you
Well,
know,
I've got a lot of pictures from Friedrichshafen that I can show whenever anybody wants. I don't want to bore people, but
not
you know,
boring here.
I could show a few if people would like it, and then we go on to other stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah, we can absolutely give you time to do that, Tom. Why not? Because all I have is I have the we haven't completed the photos from Spring Brookline because of the new format. Now every other meeting is a round robin, so it kind of you know, so it allows sort of just extends the time to go through things. So you're absolutely welcome to have a slot because you always show such fascinating things we don't see out here anyway. Um, so, you know, before I cut over to you, does anyone have anything they want to add or anything they want to show or talk about before we maybe, you know, give you some time, and then I'll pick up with the fall Brookline, strike that, spring Brookline photos?
I guess the only thing I had to share, I already did in a previous email out to the Nevic group for those who may not have seen it. And I thought it was maybe sort of kind of fit in under vintage electronics. There's a little YouTube video talking about some vintage sci-fi robots from science fiction movies back in the day, in the 40s and 50s, that I thought I got a kick out of it. So I shared that. I sent the email to the Nevic email
Oh,
address. But
I saw the subject. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. So yeah, that will be
yeah,
interesting to me for sure.
it's yeah, interesting sci-fi robots. A few of them that I'd never even had seen, and some that you could guess, would be there as
Sure.
standard fare. But
Right.
it's not a long thing. It's only 6, 7, 8 minutes long, something like that. So you don't have to invest a lot of time in
Cool. Well, no, thanks for sharing that because we all like to be entertained by these things,
it.
and so no problem there. But um,
It's kind of fun to see robots when you don't expect them. I was shopping in BJ's and this little robot came rolling along beeping and saying, "Excuse me, I'm doing an inventory." Running away and rolling along on its and beeping in a very happy way. Almost sounded like it was laughing. I guess that's where we're going in the long
yeah,
run. We have a lot of robots around.
The
they
thing they
do.
can do with robotics today, it's just scary. They have robots that the only problem they have with robots inside of a building, they really get things going where it wants to. They have to do it through GPS. And if you have a steel roof on your building, that's the only thing preventing that from happening. But if you got a tar roof or something like that, then it's all systems go. Before that, they used to put magnets in floors,
Mm.
and then the robot would travel along the magnets. I've seen all that stuff, and I used to get involved with some of that, but it's crazy where it's going today with all that.
No, that's absolutely the case. In fact, there's an Italian restaurant. It's been around forever in the town next to us. That we've been to the restaurant many times. It's like a little mom and pop shop, so but it's well known in the area. It's been around since for many decades, probably since the 50s or whatever. But at any rate, they've done some renovation, and they sort of organized their dining room a little bit differently, where the tables a little bit more lined up, and they have robots that serve like the drinks. So if you order like a glass of wine, the thing rolls up to your table, and you take stuff away. So it's a little weird because it's funny. It's this sort of the still mom and pop place so it seems a little bit out of sync with the nature of the restaurant, but it's kind of fun to see. So I'm not objecting. It's just a little weird to see. You expect to see it in a more trendy place, and you just have this mom and pop Italian place, and they have the tables organized in more row fashion because they need enough space for the thing to go roll up and drop something off for you. And
I had a friend that I used to work with, and the last time I saw him, he says, the next time you watch any episode of the Jetsons and you see all the
yeah,
stuff that's going on within the cartoon,
Yeah.
most of that stuff's happening now for real.
yeah,
And,
it's just
I
not coming
remember
out of the
watching that when I
ceiling.
was a kid.
John, did that robot talk to you when it served drinks or just
It,
sort of, did it make any noises?
it did. I think it did say, I think it had an artificial voice that said something maybe like, here are your drinks or something. I think I would have said, but I was like more amused by just watching, they had a few of them rolling up and down and dropping things off. And I don't know, I guess it's a great experiment for them. But like,
Or you were like a cherry in your Shirley Temple.
I want Rosie.
Please fasten your seatbelt.
The
A
little
door
robot
is a
arm come
jar.
out for a tip.
Yeah, that's where you pour the wine into
Yeah.
into the
Go on,
electronics.
was
There's
specifically
your,
designed for dental offices to make kids feel happy. And while the dentist is doing his thing, and this robot goes along, sings and does silly things and makes funny faces and stuff like that. It's a pretty neat application.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, they're making their way. I mean, it's the first restaurant I've ever been that has these, and it's actually the one I would kind of not expect, but but it's out there, and I guess that's just the tip of the iceberg, I suppose. But I kind of mind something a little more like Rosie the robot or something. If any of you Justin's fans, you brought it up there, Noah. I still like that. I still like that. I don't see it very often. When it is, I'll watch it for a few minutes. I'm still
There's
amused.
an older cartoon than the Jetsons that it has like an automated like vacuum cleaner, sweeper upper dustpan thing, and then there's another robot that's like doing the dishes, and all things go awry during the cartoon, and like the robot that's supposed to be doing the dishes starts like throwing them against the wall and they smash, and then the other robot has to come out of the closet with the dust broom and pick it up, and it just keeps getting wackier and wackier. But I think it's like a 50s type cartoon.
I have a friend who was a service guy for Digital Equipment Corporation, and he gets called out on service calls, and he got called out one night because an automated factory had gone wild. And it was completely controlled by a Digital Equipment PDP-8 computer, and it had little forklift things that would go out and pick up packages and load them onto trucks and load them onto conveyors, and it just gone completely bonkers. So the floor was about 20 feet deep in boxes that it was sort of banging up against these things. And he had to troubleshoot that baby.
That's funny.
Typically, I work with the Kawasaki Model E robot, which is still quite popular, but I have about 170 robots at the Connecticut plant that are going obsolete in the next 2 years,
Wow.
and they're only 10 years old.
Bring them to the show. We want to buy them.
These are a little big, but you really
the cameras went well. You might as well have some robots.
this is
Yeah,
true.
we could
Maybe I
modify
can
them.
bring
We
some
could turn
parts.
them into riding lawnmowers with, they could like mow the lawn like a Roomba for the front yard or something.
But it is scary how quickly they go obsolete, and the more and more safety regulations that come out, the more and more the older robots do not have the technology to meet the newer. I mean, they're grandfathered in, but they don't have the technology to meet the newer safety standards that are coming out. We have to go to safety training every year or so now on these.
Interesting.
But they are very interesting, but it's amazing how quickly they go obsolete. And I'm sure we're going to have a lot of work to do. Job security, I guess, but
Moore's Law
What
continues.
kind of robots do they do? Assembly or
no, these are mainly just stacking and picking robots that pick cases. So they're kind of large. The footprint on them is probably about 20 feet from one end to the other. They're not small.
Wow.
I'll try to get a picture of myself in front of one of them one of these days and show it to you. But ours is kind of smaller. The Kawasaki Model E 80, I think we have, is it's got a swing of about 15 feet
wow.
where the robotic arm picks things up. But
That's about what I can get with my backhoe.
yeah.
And I bet it's a lot better than I am at picking things.
It's pretty precise. It's pretty precise, but I'm sure you do a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, I mean
Howard, how many axis robot is that?
6
Wow.
axes.
I
We only use 5 of them.
Using 3, so I can't
Yeah.
imagine what a 6 does.
We only use 5 of those though, but yeah, it's capable of 6. So
Wow.
I mean, when was the last time a new car got a paint job by anything but a robot?
True.
They're
Yeah.
just
That's
using
true.
little
Anybody
paint
been
guns.
through a car manufacturing company and seen the robots at work? It's
Yeah.
I went to Germany and I watched Porsche and BMW being put together by these things, and I swear that the people don't touch anything. These things just roll along and then do their job and push it on to the next guy, and they don't even stop for coffee.
Yeah. No, it is cool. It is impressive. I guess that you have consistent quality in that regard.
Yeah, the BMW company is very interesting. During the war, they forced prisoners of war to build their engines for
Right.
them
Right.
because the soldiers were out in the field fighting, and they actually admitted that. And it's the same thing with Enigmas, actually, that they were being built by prisoners of war rather than engineers. It's just amazing.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. But yeah, no, that's neat. Well, hey, Howard, looks like you have at least one buyer for one of your robots there. I think Tom will take one and play around around his barn, maybe.
Yeah, I guess I need a flatbed 16-wheeler to hold the thing, huh? I don't have a CDL. I think I'd have to get a CDL to haul the thing.
Well, it would be a little bit of a drive to take your backhoe.
Yeah, I could move it, but
But so
we'll, we'll look forward to seeing pictures of that, Howard. That'll be neat.
so Tom, do you want a 15 or so minute slot to show some photos
I've
from
got a lot of them,
Friedrichshafen?
so just give me a high sign. I'll try and keep it down to 10 minutes, and then we can decide if anybody wants more. I've got quite a lot of shots. This was a very good show. A lot of very interesting stuff, and I did turn up 2 Enigma machines, and so part of the show will be my discovering the Enigma machines, which was very, very, very nice. So let me just start out here and
You know what? Let me. You know what? I just remember. Did I turn on? See if I turned on. They changed the UI on this thing here. There we go. The UI is slightly different on this recent upgrade of the Zoom application. So they just slightly move things around a little bit.
So there's a lot of ham equipment at this show, and interesting ham equipment, some old stuff. Surprisingly, a great deal of American ham equipment ended up in Germany, just like a great deal of military equipment. This is just a picture. For some reason, they seem to like the Drake line of ham equipment, and so there were an awful lot of them for sale there. In the front, you see a bunch of telegraph keys, and over on the right, the keys made by the Junker company,
Oh,
keys
oh,
both during World War II and after World War II. And those are after World War II, that gray one way over on the right that you see there. We can talk a little bit about those. The rig with the 3 meters in it is actually a Trio, which became a Kenwood radio. So it's an early version of what we now look at as Kenwood equipment. But I know that's not of great interest to most of you, and so I'll just skip through a couple of pictures. Then interesting stuff showed up. Not a radio, but it sure was something that I wish I could have brought home. I think it was it's a hurdy-gurdy. If that's what the right name is. And it looks like it's very well made. I took a look at the label, and the label's rather interesting. It clearly was made in Barcelona, in Spain, and on Hospital Avenue. And I guess they made pianos. Vicente Yares. Faventia. I don't know what all that means, but it looked like a neat thing. I was trying to see if I could get away with cranking it and see what kind of music it made, but I wasn't able to do that. bunch of very, very inexpensive Chinese radios that showed up.
Hmm.
And this is a,
I think that's a
I guess,
Grundig. I think that's a Grundig.
yeah, it had that.
Oh no, wait a minute. Wait, that's a no. I strike that.
No, it's a
Hey,
Zenith.
Zenith. Okay, that's a
Yeah,
Zenith.
I think the crown means it's a
Yeah.
Zenith.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So, you turn up these things, a bunch of little plastic things. Some of them, there's a Grundig in there. Some of them are fairly good quality and being sold really at junk prices. Although here's something for $1,400. And the euro was about the same as a dollar. And this is a radio. Obviously, the seller knew that it was worth a great deal. It looked to me like just a plastic something, but it says down at the bottom something ARD.
Vanguard?
Vanguard. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it could
Yeah,
be.
and the word up at the top of Voxon, VOXSON. So I guess it must
That's
have been.
that's
And
something, it's a combination because what it is it's a rear view mirror for a car. If you look at it
Oh,
carefully,
yeah.
and it's
Yeah,
got the little,
it has the black day night little toggle at the bottom.
Yes,
Oh, cool. Good
yes.
for you. I didn't have any thought on that. Good for you.
Good catch. Yeah, now you can see the roof line
And who
from
knows,
here.
it might be one of those, it might go into a Bugatti or one of those like
Yeah.
super,
It looks like this is the matching speaker.
Yep.
The word is upside down, but it's obviously says Voxon.
I wonder what country that's from. Is it like England or?
Delahaye or it's some high end super duper car that would have that in it, and
Yeah,
a rare option.
right.
That's
James
pretty neat.
James Bond would have one of those in his car.
Yep.
Very nice. Thank you for picking that out. Bunch of high voltage stuff, spark equipment and test equipment in the back, and
Couple of water pipes.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
an abacus on the left. Quite a mix of stuff here. I don't know what that cat's a wind-up cat down there in the lower left. You can see the wind-up key on the thing.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Just a totally fun flea market. And then we got some pretty interesting radios. The crystal sets that you see in the front here, the Europeans really like crystal sets because they didn't require any electricity. And many of them were used on farms. So they were really popular, and they still are popular. It's quite interesting to see how many of them there are and how popular they are. Let's take a look at the set in back and see if we can figure out. I think it is a Siemens.
Ein and Aus.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
writing up there,
Yep.
Siemens. And I don't have any idea what model, but it's certainly, a pretty early one. Which way did I go here? I guess, no, there we are. There we are. Okay, so it's probably pretty early, Siemens. And then sitting on top of that is this radio that should look pretty familiar because it is a Crosley,
Yes, indeed.
and it is pretty obvious a Crosley. It's interesting to see all these things in a European flea market. They must have sold an awful lot of radios in Europe. A bunch of other things down in here, mostly crystal sets, but they also have some currency that you can see, and one of them has a picture of Marconi on it, the Italian 2000 lira note. So, you walk along and you see this stuff, and it's fun to check out. Now, that's an interesting looking box over on the left there. We could amplify magnify it a bit and see if we can figure out what it is. Anybody recognize the
Let's see.
name?
This is the word brown. There we go.
Yeah, it says brown on the top, and I think that is a matching speaker for it. So
Looks like it. Now, the
it
question is
is
it
a
brown?
brown. And look at it's got the tuning dial way over knob on the right and the little scale visible in the center there. Oh, interesting stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, not stuff you see very often.
Yeah.
At least not around here.
Um, I think that's a Western Electric set in the background there. Let's see. It looks like it.
I think that's a Westinghouse. It looks like a
Westinghouse? Okay. Yeah, I guess you're
Yeah,
right.
there it is. Yep.
Yep.
Is it? I
You
can't
made the
make it
call.
out.
You made
Yep.
the call. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Westinghouse.
We have one of them in a museum. That's the only reason why I recognized it.
Is that
Good
what they
call.
call a panel set? Is that the?
Yeah, there was a model number for that. I'm not remembering it off the top of my head, but
It's
they
a
had
DA and an RA, I believe.
Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
looks
was having a senior moment. Thank you, Howard.
Oh, and now you can also see that there are 3 more knobs on the left-hand side of that brown thing that you're sitting next to.
Yeah, and it's
Oh right. Oh right. Yeah, the
so
brown.
what's a tickler? That's not to adjust the crystal. What is it? What does a tickler adjustment do? Anybody know?
I think that's a physical one that actually takes and rotates the coil, the perpendicularity of a coil to another coil. It's
Yeah,
kind of for regeneration control.
yeah, like a
Hmm.
goniometer that does that kind of thing. And then I guess the other one looks like it says vernier on it, the little knob on the left there. Anyway, interesting set.
Yeah.
I go to another one. Oops. Go to another one here. There we are. I just happen to love microphones, and there were some neat microphones here. The one on the far right looks like it has a label on it, and it is. Oops, come back. Sorry. Okay. One on the far right has a little red label. Can't make it out. Maybe just a light. But that's a neat mic. And the one in the foreground here is particularly interesting. Looks like it has a microphone element and it's suspended by wires, by springs that you see up here.
Hmm.
Then there's something that is under it. When you close it, that thing rests on this little circle. And I imagine, I should have looked, but I imagine there's a hole through the plastic that picks up the sound from outside this thing. But it's unusual and very
Yeah.
fun. If I was still collecting, I wouldn't have been able to resist that baby. Okay, let's see. Nice amplifier in the back. I don't know whether you're familiar with it, but Quad is an extremely high quality British audio amplifier. And that is a set that is worth a great deal of money for audio people in America. The set that you see, the thing you see in the front is the preamplifier. And I used to be in high-end audio, such as it was in the 1950s. And we thought we were fiddling with high-end audio, and the Quad was just one of the real, like a Macintosh, it was the rig to have, and you'd hook it up to a couple of big Altic Lansing voice of the theater speakers, and it would just blast out wonderful sounds. But the preamp is fairly hard to find for those, and so you're looking at a stereo quad system, which is very unusual. I should have taken a look at the price. It should have been very, very high, but I don't know. And I
Looks
couldn't.
very, very heavy.
Yeah, it's very heavy. Those output transformers are indeed heavy. So here's one called a Nora,
Hmm.
and it is
Yep.
pretty obvious that it is a Nora.
sure.
Let's see, there's the label up there. Anybody recognize Nora?
Yeah, that was a German manufacturer, I think in the Berlin area, if memory serves.
Okay. Okay.
That's a lesser brand. I seem to recall, and I can't remember when they went out of business. I'd have to actually look that up. But I believe seeing systems from the 50s. So they may have made it through the 50s. After that, it's hard to say. By the 60s, they started dropping like flies.
I like the dial here. It's obviously has been engraved with the names of the cities. Usually it's sort of printed on glass or something, but this guy has a serious piece of metal with engraving to tune the thing. So it's a pretty unusual set. Very, very interesting to look at. And this is one that I just absolutely. This has been at the same show. I'd say they've been trying to sell this for about 3 years now. It looks so beautiful. You just want to have that on your coffee table or something like that. But all it is a quack medical device for giving tingling electric shocks. But as with many of them, the idea is to really impress your patient with the shiny knobs and stuff of the instrument so that they don't realize they're just getting electric shocks from the thing to treat whatever ails them. Beautiful condition, a beautiful unit. They didn't want a lot of money for it, but 200 I think was too much. Here's an interesting little set. Again, one of the many crystal sets. You can see the antenna terminal in the far left and Terra or ground in the far right. And you can see the crystal detector, the cat's whisker in the middle of the thing. Didn't see a name on it, unfortunately, but a nice little set. I'm not sure what that black thing is in the background there. It might be a slider for the coil, or it looks sort of like something's missing. So maybe there was supposed to be a coil plugged into that or along the top of it. Hard to tell. This is a nice looking radio. The case looks to be in good condition. Let's see if we can get a reading on it. And it is a Telefunken.
Yes, indeed.
And in nice condition.
Yeah,
Got slider knobs down at the bottom, and
yeah, it's in quite terrific shape.
the grill cloth looks amazing. I don't know whether that's a replacement or not, but it
looks
really
pretty.
looks.
It looks compelling. I mean, judging for the cabinet condition, I would not be surprised if this is original.
Yeah, it certainly is possible. Some of these people took great care with their radios. They'd bring them in padded boxes and very dramatically. This one also, I think I showed you this last year, but it's back again. It didn't sell. They wanted a fair amount of money for it, maybe $800 or something like that. And that was too much for some people, but it's a lovely set. It is a Cosmo. And let's look at the label on it a little more closely. It's a Cosmos radio phone. So I can sharpen that up a little. And
endorsed by Carl Sagan.
It was made in, let's see if we can figure that out.
Let's see.
Sheffield,
Yep,
Sheffield,
Sheffield, England.
Yeah. So it's an English set, and it is really, really impressive. You can see the paperwork that comes with it. Cosmos Metropolitan Vickers. I don't know whether that means it was made by Vickers or not, but look at the size of the storage battery that you need to run the thing. It's pretty, and lots of fun controls on it. So
that's pretty cool. Wait, if it's not heavy enough, let's give you a battery to.
Yeah, that's a really hard set to walk away from because it just looks like it should be in your collection. And getting that home on an airplane would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's a lovely set. very nice looking. Anybody recognize it?
It's got to be French.
It is French, you're right. It is a Ducretet Monson. Ducretet is a very, very old electronic radio company. They were making stuff back in the Spark era. And this is a really nice looking set. I thought they were out of business, and then I saw this set and it just blew my socks off. It is
Yeah.
very, very, very unusual. And
They always look cool lit up.
again, it is the kind of thing you really have a hard time tearing yourself away from.
Yeah.
Just absolutely beautiful. And
That's terrific.
there's another one. I don't know if I have
Hmm.
a brand on this one. Just
Yeah,
sitting,
this one I'm not sure.
doesn't seem to have a name on it anywhere.
Yeah, it's unusual for sure.
It's pretty. I'll go to
Yeah, it's quite.
lots and lots of tubes for sale, and some of them are really, really weird. Look at this guy. It doesn't have pins, it has sockets on it.
Hmm.
So you put it on top of a set of pins rather than sticking the pins into the socket.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. You get a radio with one of those and you're in real trouble if it doesn't work. You've got to come to this show, and there are just tons and tons of different tubes. Are we done yet, John?
I give you a few more minutes.
Okay, let's
What
oops,
was what was what we
let's
got?
see what we got down
Yeah.
here.
Kind of curious. What is that? Is that a Telefunken? I'm not sure yet. It is.
Yep.
Open, yeah.
Interesting. Neat set. That looks like, very late
That's just modern
30s.
stuff.
Yeah, maybe could. I wonder if that's even just probably very late 30s. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Its design being very, box-like. Really,
Yeah, right.
it's cool.
Might even be Cold War era stuff, but it's hard to know.
I would say if it cleared World War II, had it been like when the first few years, like very late 40s, but I'm guessing this is very late 30s, early 40s, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, and there's several of them there. This rather nice looking guy here in the
Yeah, that's another telephone. Yeah, I recognize that one.
Yeah.
Mid to late 30s. I can't remember the model number on these.
And I imagine that might be a Telefunken down below too, since the guy has so many of them, but it's
Maybe. It's hard to. Usually Telefunken usually put their logo on somewhere. And I think that radio to the left, it's got one of these pop-up
Yeah.
and I Saba made
Pop-up
some of
dial.
that. I like that. A few manufacturers, German manufacturers, made that. I think Saba was one of them. It could be a Telefunken. They may have done one with it, but it is pretty cool. It's a really
on
cool effect.
the Telefunken is a telegraph register, and this is a device that uses an ink pen to write literally long and short marks on a piece of paper for dots and dashes. And it was used very, very widely all over Europe. It's worth about 100 because there's so many of them around. But if you don't know that there are so many of them around, I guess that price might be attractive. It's not one of the really, really valuable ones. This is a spring-driven one. You wind up with that key. You wind up a spring. The really, really valuable ones are weight-driven registers, where you have a big, heavy weight that pulls the paper tape through the register and allows you to mark it with things. So that's nothing particularly special.
So there it is.
Don't know what that is.
Got to zoom in on that one.
No, what does that say in the?
Another Telefunken, 7,000.
There it is. Wow, that's pretty
7,000.
cool. I like that
Yeah.
one. Now that must be it must be a tuning eye. I guess that's what that is. I guess it's the
Yeah,
flash
could
washes
be.
it out. Must be a tuning
Right.
eye. Unusual place to stick it. But okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wonder what that thing is to the right of it. The left is the tuning eye. What is that thing in the? There's some sort of.
I was wondering the same thing, John. The only thing I can think of is uh, a pilot lamp, but why would they? I mean, it's some kind of indicator.
Yeah,
Um, I'm gonna read up on that because I am super curious about that.
that is pretty cool. And those Germans always had they had a reason for everything. So I say for if nothing else, give you a little eye candy. No, who doesn't like something lit? Ah, okay, that might be a Telefunken. Trying to see that badge. Yes, it is. It's the capo. The that was a European only radio. This is probably early 50s, very early 50s. Has I think that's probably maybe it's an EM35 tuning eye. But they were European only, so they were probably just shortwave bands. Maybe brought you had actually this has FM. Very interesting. It does have FM. That very bottom band goes up to 100 megahertz. So it actually has FM. That's pretty neat. Neat radio. You see them every so often in the United States, but it's because someone brought it home because these were typically not
Lots of
exported.
miscellaneous stuff of Nordmende, and just tons of portable radios of all kinds. Just
Ooh, look at that. Some Marantz stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Tube tester, telephone, all kinds of telephones are kind of neat. And one of
Oh
the
yeah. Look at the size of those babies on the right hand side.
yeah, the radio with a round circular speaker is a Volksempfänger or a
Yeah.
people's radio. You were liable to be shot if you didn't listen to the right stations with it. And during the war, the Germans would actually superimpose a tone on the BBC broadcasts. And if your neighbor heard a tone coming from your apartment building or your apartment, they would turn you in as listening to the BBC and not the Fuhrer. And people were get in bad trouble for that. So there are hundreds of those at the show.
Oh
Very
sure.
um,
That's a neat turntable.
Hmm.
nice little turntable. Yeah, let's get through those.
Grundig, I think, sitting
Yeah,
there.
could be.
And way down the bottom,
Couple of them stacked up, but
that
look at
might
that.
be, that's a Nordmende. I'm almost sure of it.
Yeah, look at that little gray thing in
Yeah.
the that's sort of interesting. I didn't see that before.
Yes, indeed. And that's, I think, a couple of Nordmendes sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
Some speakers. There's some good stuff. Boy, I wish I were there. Probably good thing I wasn't.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. A real nice turntable.
Wow, that's kind of
on-
cool.
That's 628.
This is interesting. This is a combination. On the bottom it's a Helicrafters SX28, which is a very good communication receiver from the 30s or so. But on top of it is a spy radio that is very valuable. It's a Cold War era spy radio and very much sought after. Well, what do you think, John? Shall we call it quits on
Yeah.
this?
Okay. I can cut over to Spring Brookline. This is great, Tom. Why don't you mark this here so that maybe the next Zoom meeting we'll give you another slot there. Since we'll be doing next meeting will be a round table anyway.
Yeah, I'll mark down the number and then we'll go on and somewhere later on in the progress in the set of slides, I have the discovery of an Enigma machine and Russian cipher machine. That was very exciting for me.
Oh boy, well, we look forward to seeing that.
Thank you for your patience on this, but I think it might be interesting.
No,
May I interject real quick for about 20 seconds?
of course.
I was so smitten with that Voxon radio and the 1,400-pound price tag that I kind of got on my phone and looked this guy up. The Voxon company was founded in '52 by an Italian engineer, and his name was Armando Piccinini. And I started going through the thing on my phone, and I actually found a picture of that radio
Oh,
Of course, it's probably not coming through here.
No,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Like the one that the bottom picture is more like the one that Tom showed. And you can see the lady looking at herself in the mirror.
Oh, that's so funny.
trying
That's
to
awesome.
crack the glass, I guess. But so
Yeah.
these apparently must be a good thing to have for like your European car to
Yes.
put in. That might be what's commanding the price tag on it.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
have a European vehicle.
that's pretty uncommon. I've never seen that before until now because
Yeah.
So
Thank you
Bob
for
Sung
checking that out.
sounds like it might be British, but it's Italian.
it's very interesting, you know, because the most
Thank you,
common thing-
Robert. That's fascinating.
Oh,
It just
that's
got
really
it just it was like eating at me. Oh, I gotta look this up. And I had to do that.
No, that's really cool. In fact, I've never seen one like that because the most common things you saw, at least in European cars, is even into the 60s, was Telefunken and the other German manufacturers would make the like the Bajazo portable radios, the transistor ones that had a sleeve. So you put the sleeve in the car and you mount it to the electrics to the speaker, and you could so it was a little adapter. You slide the radio in, and because it was facing up, you could just dial your stations through the fronts of the radio because you're looking on the top of it, and it had an adapter and there's a little car button you would just press. So I guess I suppose make the connection and then just probably also push it probably to eject it, but although you probably just pulled on the handle. But it was actually a clever way because a lot of cars in the 50s, even the 60s, didn't have a radio coming out of the factory. You had to actually put something in yourself.
Well, I think that predated the stuff that GM did in 58 and 59 with what they called the transportable. So they had a portable transistor radio. You could plug it in your car and play it in your car, and then it was a pull-out, and then you could take it to the beach or the woods
Right.
or wherever you were going to go with that radio. But I think that's where GM got the idea to do that.
In fact, actually, I'll show you the radio I'm speaking of that they did this for. I'll be right back.
And by the way, this intermission is brought to you by Jaime's alcohol-free vodka. Okay.
What?
So if you want to get some great vodka, get that great vodka flavor without that silly hungover feeling, Jaime's. I love this stuff.
Oh,
It's
that's
called
funny.
it's called distilled water.
So here's the radio I'm speaking of. So I'm going to flip it. So this is Telefunken Bajazo made in around the 67, 68. And if you look,
Oh, that late?
oh yeah.
Okay.
So if you look at this button right here, there's a button for the automotive. I can get close enough to it. There's an automotive button.
Oh, it's a picture of the car.
Exactly. The idea is this would slide into a chassis. So the radio would be sitting underneath your dashboard looking up like this, right? And you'd slide into a sleeve and connect your speaker up to it, or you could play it as is. It would just give you power. So if you just need electric power, I think it would do that as well. But I think it allowed you to either connect to a car speaker or you just played it through the speaker, because the speaker on this, yes, it points down, but it sounds great. So there's plenty of power. They don't even need a speaker in the car because, a lot of the cars might have just left the factory without even any speaker. Back in the day, you didn't even have speaker prep. Whereas, in the 80s, I remember ordering getting my first new car, my 86 Volkswagen GTI, and it left the factory with speaker prep, but it didn't have a radio. So I just got a Panasonic radio and slapped it in, and it was good to go because it was pre-wired. Yeah, that was the solution. They were actually really compelling radios because their sensitivity was really excellent. In fact, I think part of the adapter might have been allowing you to connect to a mast antenna. Because I don't know enough about the car adapter, but I wouldn't be surprised if you could actually get the antenna to be connected so you could actually get good reception, because you'd have to pull the antenna out. I mean, I guess if you could do it when it wasn't anybody's way, if you could go like straddle the 2 bucket seats or something, maybe that's okay. But it really depended where they put the radio, I suppose. So I imagine that adapter had a few, I've never seen an adapter, so I actually don't know, but I'm speculating. But probably would have made sense. But it's a cool
That must have
idea.
been nice at the time too, because that radio probably had FM on it, right?
Absolutely. This is a
So
multi.
that was a big deal.
Yeah, AM, FM, even a shortwave, and a terrific sensitivity too. They're well known for
Yeah, actually, the car radios are usually have very interestingly made and very well designed front ends because they have to deal with all kinds of signal strength and rapid and slow variation of it.
They're traveling in a moving car, and there's a lot of stuff that's one of the reasons why I think they chose, like, for the AM band on early car radios, 262. And I actually have a car radio that I built. It's actually a 90s Delco radio, AM radio, that was probably meant to go in a box fan or some cheap, commercial vehicle. But the sensitivity and selectivity on that radio, AM radio, when you get conditions that are wide open, it's amazing. I can get WLW full quieting with WOR literally less than 30 miles from my home.
wow.
It's that good. So Tom makes a great point. All the stuff that you have to go through with having a radio in a car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm up on a farm here, and I'm at least 100 miles from AFM station, and even those are very weak. So a car FM radio with a power supply works a lot better than anything else I've found.
I just
Interesting.
wish I could remember the name of the radio that I saw that was a pull-out, and I was pretty sure it predated the GM stuff from 58 and 59. I want to get one of them for my collection, but they called them transportables. They pretty much went into Buicks and Oldsmobiles.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can find them on eBay for people, to
For
throw a
silly
dart
money,
at it
imagine.
number. But I want to find one for like under $40. I'm not gonna
Yeah, you might
spend
spend stupid money.
on one end.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Noah, do you have a big pile of car radios along with all your other stuff?
I used to have a huge mountain of car radios. Now I have, I think, car radios that are not in a car. I think I have 3 of them left.
Wow.
And
Okay.
one is the one I built into a box, and the other one is I actually have a 46 to 48 Chevy car radio and a 53 Chevy car radio that are unrestored, and I've had them, and I got them both for free because they were like, I fixed somebody's radio. Oh, by the way, this is my garage here. You could have this.
Yep.
Well, Noah has one over his bed, right? Is that radio work?
Yep, that radio works. That radio works right over the bed. It's not the most interesting one that I have. The most interesting one I have kind of covers a few different topics because it's a 1942 DeSoto car radio, and there were no 1942 cars,
right,
because of the war effort.
Sure.
And so the company that made all the car radios, and it was like, had a warehouse full of them, and said, well, what are we going to do with these things? Because whenever the war is over, cars are going to be different. It's not going to be the right footprint to go into the dashboard. So they they got a furniture company to build essentially kind of like a chairside type cabinet, but with some shelves built into it. And then they built an AC to DC power supply so that you could take this car radio, and it's mounted in a box with the car radio speaker inside the cabinet for some baffling and a little bit of low end performance. But it has a power cord on it with a power supply, so it's a World War II kind of thing, and it's a car kind of thing, and it's a radio kind of
that's
thing.
really cool.
Checks off
Well, it
3
has
boxes.
Vibrator power supply in there?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here's the thing that I made right here. This is just
There you go.
So this is my go-to DX radio here. It has 262 IF.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
Let's have a battery pack here. Let me get here. Right now the radio's on, but I don't have the antenna raised, and I even have a turn on a dial light. So if the power's out or we lose our power, I could do that.
Oh,
My
cool.
antenna is literally a transoceanic wave rod antenna.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a 12-volt lead acid battery that I charge up with one of my chargers. And it's heavy as heck, but it's a great little radio.
Yeah, it almost looks Mills back there,
I
Bob.
made that probably
Yeah,
like 20 years ago.
You still got room for like a solar panel on the top of that
Probably.
now.
And when they wear out, I'll just set my house on fire. Oh,
Right.
no, I have to have a lithium-ion battery.
Yeah,
That's why
get some.
that's why I have a lead acid battery on here. I don't trust the lithium-ion yet.
That's funny. That's cool. That's really neat.
So,
But,
but car radios are
I think
great
it's time for
MVX
another
radios.
tour of Noah's bedroom.
yeah, I think so. I mean, like I said,
Well, there's
they-
the whole new man cave that's in a different
Yeah.
building on the property now. So yeah,
Well,
we can do something like that.
oh yeah, yeah, Noah, you know, you tell me when you want to do it. We'll slot you in. You know,
That was
we
very memorable.
you know, so you
I
know,
want to know in advance so I can invite my wife, and I'm not the only crazy person.
yeah, no, that dashboard headboard Chrysler 300 from '62 is a winner. That's a
It
winner.
is
Just a
indeed.
Just a
just
winner.
a creative way to store car parts, you know.
But it's got a working radio, so you can still say, "Well, honey, it's still a radio."
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and it's you know, it's a suitable headboard, and it's got a
What?
little dash, a reading light, and it's got a glove compartment for things you might want to have there. And
And if you want to flip on the electroluminescent dash lights for a little
Yep.
night light, you know, it's
yep,
it
exactly.
checks all the boxes for me. But well, when do I share some stuff from Brookline here?
Yeah, all the stuff I missed that I couldn't get. 'Cause I wasn't
All the stuff
there.
you couldn't get. So you know, you guys.
You could do the whole thing just on a time lapse version of what came and went off the free table. That'd be good for me.
This was a particularly good free. Yeah, yeah. You know you've gotten some good stuff in the
Oh
past.
my God.
Wow, that's a beauty.
What's that say? $5?
Does it?
Wow. And that even has the original leather case.
Yeah. This is where we left off. I remember I said, "Oh, this was neat. You don't see these too often." It was
They're
well,
just cute little. I just have this thing for battery portables. I don't know what it is.
yeah, it's in pretty terrific condition.
Oh, it says $10. It's still a bargain for that.
Yeah.
Well,
The tubes are worth
that's
that.
the starting price. You could negotiate on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
Doesn't even need veneer.
No, it's in. Yeah, exactly. So we got the. That is this. Yeah, it's a Sterling.
Tester
Tester.
for AC, and I couldn't read the rest.
No,
Oh,
zoom
sorry,
in
this is
again.
a-
It said what it was for: AC
Yeah,
and DC
radio
That's what
sets
AC
and
and
tubes.
tubes.
Yep, because you can see it's got a tube
Ah.
connector. Yeah, in
Okay.
Cleveland, made in Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, you know what? Maybe that socket isn't for the tubes. You probably plug the radio into that, maybe, and then fire it up from that.
Maybe
Maybe.
No.
that's an unusual.
Because some of the battery sets usually had a plug that was a 5-pin like that. It kind of almost looked like,
Hmm.
like a
Speaker plug.
like an early fat pin tube base.
Lots of neat early style, very classic looking.
Look, it'll
Looks like you
surprise
plug. Maybe I'm right. Maybe you put the plug in there and you just dial up the what you need to get things fired up.
dial up your filament volts. Look at you can put up to 500 volts on the plates.
So that's a
Yeah.
power supply for $15. Another bargain.
Yeah, it's a battery eliminator.
Yeah. Yep, $15. It's pretty cool. I mean, you know, I love the old style looking gauges and all. It just looked very. It looked the part.
Mm.
You could even do DC filaments.
Let's see what else it says. Wait, I don't know how close I can get on the. Yeah, I know, huh? Yep, AC and DC radio set and tubes.
I don't think the filament really knows whether it's AC or DC, but
I don't think the filament cares.
Well, it does actually. My Marantz, my 1950s Marantz preamplifiers, they actually have a 6.3 volt DC power supply with like 22,000 microfarads of filtering because you don't want any
You don't want
hum.
a hum to
You
get
don't
through.
want any hum to come from your filament voltage
Yeah.
in your preamp section.
Hmm.
They were crazy. But
A GE.
Oh, Generally Electric.
Generally Electric. So it almost look like a little bit like a walkie-talkie style.
That looks a little bit like a upside down RCA BP10.
Hmm. It was kind of cool in its own way. AC/DC.
I
So
don't think I've ever seen one of those.
yeah, the first one I saw certainly was picture worthy to me. I can't tell you what the price is because it's unfortunately facing upward, but
And that looks like it's in a metal box. Maybe that is their equivalent for a
Well, yeah, well, it kind of looks like if you look at on the right side, there's like a latch, and on the left side, it looks like there might be like on-off switch so that you turn it on when you open the lid, kind of thing, like some of the
kind of like
Zeniths
a
did,
BP-10.
or the Motorola's did.
Hmm.
yeah, it was neat. Yeah, I noticed it was adjacent to the RCA, I think. So
Yep. Good table.
yeah,
Yeah.
multimeter,
Multiplex multimeter.
all for a
Well-
cool $5, I think that says. So that was a pretty good bargain table if you're looking for.
Yeah, well, the leads are $25.
I was going to say the leads are $50.
Yeah, leads sold separately. Yeah, that was kind of neat. Helicopters,
Big H.
the big H.
Which one is that one? S6100. Okay.
Yeah. Yes,
It's
yes,
in
yes.
decent shape too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it looked like I had the manual up there. If I think might be. Yep, I see the H there, so that might be the owner's manual too. So
Got the snow brush in case you're listening to it in a snowstorm and brush the snow off it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Upper
well,
cables, the whole 9 yards.
absolutely. You know, that's the spirit of tailgating, boys. Spirit of tailgating. Up, you almost always hardly see some of these this type Zenith in
Yeah.
almost every show. $20.
You know, there's like 3 or 4 guys in the New Jersey club that have fetishes for these radios, and they are like they're almost like a German set to work on. They're really tight on the chassis, but when they work well. But they're just they can be difficult to work on.
Hmm. They made these in different colors, if memory serves.
Oh yeah, they had all kinds
Yeah.
of different.
I think they had a wooden version too.
I think they did that. I think that's kind of rare. A lot of them had the little handles on top and all that stuff. So
Brown is one of them.
but
Yeah, like brown.
not one of my personal favorites. I had to do one of them for a guy that had silver mica disease on AM and FM,
Ugh.
and it took me a while to get it all right.
Yeah, and this is probably the most common color combinations. Like, because every time I see one, it's almost always this brown and cream.
And for $20, it probably has silver mica disease.
Yeah, that may be the case.
Probably.
It's kind of an EGE, a little portable.
That's a nice little radio.
$10.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say sure. On that.
Probably battery and electric.
Yep.
Big old civil defense symbol.
Yeah, I
on
know.
top.
I see that. Yeah, huh?
Come on, that's a dial pointer.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I was with Greg there. I said, "Geez, that looks like the civil defense." So you're probably right, though. I can't
There is a Conelrad symbol on it. I can see it from here.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
there it is.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. Must be the dial pointer, but it's kind of funny. I guess that it says "look up this way."
Ooh.
Leatherette.
Simulated alligator.
Yeah.
Fine Corinthian leather.
Yes. I forget which brand. I think that's an RCA.
With unpolished brass faceplate.
Yeah. Yeah, for $10. I mean,
You got to get in there with your little tiny paintbrush and make all those numbers be red. That would look awesome.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yep.
I agree.
I bet you that if you got something like India ink or something that's like red, because you can get it red, and just let it just sort of soak in without the paintbrush. You just use a very fine dropper.
It looks like they're
might just-
indented. I'd probably go after it with some red lipstick and then wipe off the rest of it on the outside.
Yeah,
Just,
maybe. Yeah,
a Crayola crayon.
there you go. Oh, here's a pan out of various
Ooh,
goodies.
Wow.
Wow, got a little bit of everything here.
Yeah, you get, you get a clock,
Box and fans and
Carlson.
Stromberg Carlson in decent condition.
I think that's a Motorola there.
This one here. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, you made the call. Exactly right. I don't know what this is over here, but yeah, whoops.
Actually, that's a Mantola.
Tola, yeah.
Is that a Mantola?
Mantola. Oh yeah, you're right. They get closure, man.
Oh, it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Good
Good.
catch.
Good call, though.
Good catch, Howard.
Yeah, I thought it was Motorola as well, but
I
you're
thought
right.
it was
You were good
Motorola.
with it. But you're right. That's gotta be a T.
I got
What-
a
what's
set of glasses.
what's the box next to the Stromberg Carlson, or in between?
Not
the
sure.
two?
Yeah, I'm not sure. My maximum, and I'm losing the.
If I were to guess on that, it's probably part of like a Victrola reproducer opening speaker thingy.
It's got some weird little arm or something sticking out
Yeah.
of the top of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's.
Oh,
all
that
about.
thing.
Yeah,
I-
that thing.
Or maybe that's part of that thing on the table there, the speaker thing. That's part of that. That might be what that is.
I don't know. It's different.
That's probably well. That whole thing is probably out of Victrola somewhere.
Oh yeah, the thing on the left is definitely the guts out of some kind of stand-up Victrola
Yeah.
thing, but I don't think that's a part of it. That other little box in between the two table radios.
Hmm.
I forget whether I took a better photo. I mean, you may see a better photo a little bit. I actually haven't reviewed these in a while.
That framed bell, basically a buzzer type bell with two buzzers or something. I mean that I don't know, it's a very interesting piece of art. It's I never even noticed it while I was there, and I bought a couple things from this guy, and I'm trying to figure out what
Yeah.
the what the origin of that is.
Yeah. And you're thinking, wow, that would look great on my wall.
No, not exactly, but I mean, it does raise a lot of questions.
What were they thinking?
What were they thinking? Was this a child's art project and he decided to draw his dad's workbench or something? I mean, it's
Yeah.
very interesting.
Well, you did a pretty good job of perspective and all, so you got to give somebody
Yeah.
some decent
Yeah,
credit.
true, definitely.
But it is unusual. Abstract vintage electronics art. Well, yeah, this was a particularly nice condition. This,
I bet that's a General Motors.
I think you're right, Greg.
They had those weird
think
slide dials on there.
I
Didn't
might have a
RCA have something like that too?
Later
Yeah,
on,
they-
yeah.
I remember this was in just terrific cosmetic condition. Look at all of this, the ornate, the legs, and it's just beautifully done. I mean, just the woodwork and just the engraving. It's just like, wow. And I think you are right, Greg. I might have a better shot in a moment. I forget now because I haven't looked at these in a while.
'Cause they were known for their ornate cabinets like that, the General Motors.
Just absolutely gorgeous. Like I would love to, if I were like a period house like that, this would be screaming for something like this. But yeah, here's a dial scale. Really quite nice. Very nice little pointer that must obviously just go across. And that's just bass and treble control. Let's see.
Radio.
Yeah, let's see. It says radio. But I'm trying to
GM,
see.
there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
There it
the
is.
GM on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
General Motors radio.
Wow.
Gorgeous. I mean,
Must have
really,
been in a
really
really, really big car.
yeah. That's right. That big B16 Cadillac they had. We'll slap one
Yeah.
of those babies in there. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Tube tester. Nice condition.
Missing a chicken head.
Oh yeah, you be right.
I bet there's that guy who probably had chicken heads for sale there. That guy who has all the little bins of parts.
Yeah, you might have been. Yeah, you probably could have gotten one. Oh, this was neat. This was, I think, in build. This is, yeah, this is, I
Oh,
think,
I had one of these. I had
yeah,
this
Magnavox.
exact one. Yeah.
This was in Bill Dunn's minivan because you just left it in there instead of hauling the thing out of
Yep.
there. It really
No,
turned.
it's
I mean, look at it. It's got all the decals on the factory with for
yeah.
the
It's
just
got the spindle for
yeah.
45s.
You can see it's got
It was a
and
good sounding, because of the size of it, it had good sound reproduction. It had decent speaker in the bottom of it, and the amplifier in these things was pretty decent. It was like 6V6s or 6L6s, push pull.
this is complete. I mean, look at this in terrific condition. I
It
mean,
was a honker.
it's a honker, but it's not crazy honker.
No,
Um, um, yeah, here's a better shot um, of the radio here.
Now, did he have the other speaker? Because they made that in a stereo version with an additional speaker. I don't know if you
yeah,
see
well, it's on the
picture.
picture. You could see the
Yeah.
picture there on
Yeah,
a piece of paper because the
yeah.
other one is a record cabinet. You would put it just held records on the other side, and the speaker was in the bottom, and then all the electronics were in this one.
I'm
No,
telling you.
I see a switch position that says stereo on it.
Yep.
Yep, you're right there.
Someone had one of these with the other speaker with the multiplex at Kutztown a couple years ago. And yeah, it's kind of a nice thing to find.
Yeah, what I can't remember is whether Bill had the additional speaker. I was just drawn to it because I said, "Wow, this is just in beautiful condition," and classic. This is probably late 50s,
Yeah, I don't know.
early
What do you
60s.
think they call that one? Like walnut? Like I had a darker one. It was like a mahogany type finish.
Yeah, I'm not
One that
Well,
I
familiar.
they called it, Magnavox was known for calling their lighter cabinets blonde.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, with the Calero turntable.
this is pickup only. So somebody,
On the paper, it says mahogany.
oh, so it does. May well be. Um,
Hmm.
But a neat, not something you see. I guess it's
It's a, it's a. I don't think it's early 60s. It might be late 50s. I
yeah. I
don't
was
know.
trying to debate that. Yeah, whether it was late 50s, early 60s, but it's right around that
58,
cusp.
58 to 62 or something like that.
Yeah, that's probably has not been powered on. Wait, has not been powered on or tested any way. So this was as is. But heck, I mean, if you want something kind of unique, and in wonderful condition, I mean, it looks complete.
Yeah.
It would be
Invite.
what? Well, sorry, I thought that was a. Um,
Might
Maybe.
even have the turntable. Might even have 4 speeds. It might even go down to 16 and 2/3. I don't know.
Good question. I didn't lift the paper to check.
And you can play your highway hi-fi records in the house.
Guys,
There you go. Yeah, so I got a little close. There you go. That's a great
And
idea.
in the Seaberg Library records and stuff.
just
Yeah, it's a really. What impressed me is just it almost looked like it rolled out of the factory. It's that nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Ah, here we go. This is kind of neat. This promenade. Don't see
Huh.
these very often.
Oh.
I know very little about them, but this was in terrific condition. Again, one of these radios looked like it rolled out of the factory and got stuffed in someone's closet and never emerged until now.
Yeah.
I mean, look, everything was just spot on, but a really neat radio, and I've never seen one until this show. Oh, this was kind of interesting. This GE, portable, late 60s, early 70s, probably, portable stereo. You could take it around. I imagine, easy relative portability. That was kind of
Well,
neat.
they did an interesting thing with these. If I'm correct on that, you see the hinges on the
Yep.
speakers.
Yep.
the actual audio comes through those hinges to the
Oh,
speaker, and you can lift the speaker off the hinges, and then you use the RCA jack that you can see down
ah,
on the side there.
Oh,
So
yes,
it
yes,
comes
yes.
with it comes with cables if you want to separate the speakers from better sound. But if you have it on the hinges, then you don't need any cables at all, and the signal
Got it.
actually comes through the hinges.
Cool. Yes, that makes sense. Apparently this works. Because I remember talking to the gentleman who was selling it, but I just found it kind of a neat piece of early portable stereos. Now, what do we have here? Not your average vintage electronics. Got a strap. I don't know what kind of tester this is. I assume it's some form of tester. What it is beyond.
Ooh, I need that 300 ohm twin lead to 75 ohm converter thing there on the left. Can't find
Maybe
those.
maybe it's a Russian lie detector. You take one finger in each one of those things there, and someone asks you a question, and some guy sits there with a button, and
Whoa!
you have to get the question wrong, you get searched.
It seems
It's
plausible to me. I have no idea what that is.
Instead of an AA5, it's an ANA5. It's a all not American 5.
There we go. Eagle Nutridyne receiver. Kind of neat. Kind of neat dial design.
Yes.
It's little ridges. This may have been, I can't remember if this is Merrill's table. He always has neat early radios. His collection is really some of the best around. Yeah, Eagle, Newark, New Jersey. You're a neighborhood there, Bob.
Yes.
This is in really wonderful shape. I mean, it's in really, really nice shape.
It's clean.
Yeah. I mean, of course, a Zenith.
The classic H500 transoceanic.
There you go. And let's see, what were they asking?
With
It
all
says
of its
works.
buttons.
Yeah, it says it works. I don't know what they're asking. I probably had to flip the tag to find out. Yeah, it looks in pretty solid shape.
Just got a small hairline on the top of that bezel, and that's not that unusual. It's from over tightening the screws and stuff. Just a really tiny one there, but other than that, it looks like it's in really nice shape.
Yeah. Yeah, nice radio.
I actually have had one for probably when I started collecting radios again. I've had for 25 years, and I even went and got a solid state 1L6 to put in there, which kind of helps things out. The only problem with it is that you get a little bit of sometimes you get some harmonics and you pick up multiple stations on a band. But it's cool. It's a fun radio.
Yeah, always sure to see at least one of these or something in that range at every
GF made so many of these, you're not going to not find one.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, which is good for parts and other things.
Sure. I mean, if I've been on my computer off and on with a newbie trying to get his Y600 going, and I'm not even gonna repeat the questions that he was sending me on the computer. I think I may have to actually call this guy up tomorrow, and he wants to do the work, but he can't even find what values are in a filter cap, and look for a little diamond and then a little half circle, and then and this, that, and the other thing, and then you'll find your values. And I can't find the thing, this guy might be 90 years old or something. I don't know. I don't know who this is. I just got it somehow. His email came my way, so
That's funny.
they're fun radios for what they are. I mean, they're not,
Right.
but at the time they were really top shelf.
Oh yeah.
Nice radios.
Yeah, no question. Sony, no baloney.
These are pretty decent low AM FM radios.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Some quality stuff in the 70s and 80s.
I do like some of the. I do like the early '70s, early mid '70s, even late '60s Japanese stuff. They had some cool stuff. And they were pretty good receivers.
Yeah.
Pretty good receivers. Oh, Nordmenda.
Oh, your wheelhouse, John.
Yeah, boy, these are always. I have a Globetrotter 4, which I bought, which is in really terrific shape, and so they're complex. Fortunately, it needs nothing but yeah, they're bears to work on. This one needs. I have no idea whether this works. If it works, $20. If it works and it picks up, they're good receivers and they sound great. My Globetrotter 4 has got twin speakers. It's not stereo, but they got twin speakers. It's a little bit longer. It's as close you can get to just pre-stereo. It's got all the owner's manuals. It's got it all. It's got all the paperwork, including schematics and everything. They're interesting radios. A Ferguson.
Is that British?
I always thought it was. I don't know whether whether that's definitely the case here, but this looks like it's a multi.
Oh, slide control. Yeah, that dates it. It's probably 70s.
Yeah, 60s and 70s. I always liked made in Taiwan. Dun, dun, dun. I'm gonna pick you out with a Western name.
Well, that's Taiwan, Scotland is where it actually is from.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, the funny thing is, it's got all the typical. It looks very European, in its own way. If I didn't see this little sticker here, I'd be like, yeah, I believe it's European. Pretty compelling looking knockoff, if nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Motorola, pretty decent enough shape. Big antenna in the handle.
Yeah.
Motorola made lots and lots and lots of these.
Yeah. Reel to reel, realistic.
Price is going down.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think they started out unrealistic.
That was an unrealistic price, and then it got realistic all of a sudden.
Yeah, $20. Yeah, it's always hard to find homes for reel to reels. So, I did stop and freeze at a Telefunken. I think it was called the Magnetron. Was it '87? It was the same one my dad had, and it was Art Bevilacqua was selling it. But I was like, oh, what am I going to do with this thing? It's just this big piece of machinery that I don't have any reel to reel. If I had fed the family tapes, I'd be like, okay, I'd give it a whirl. I'd see if there's something I could do with it. But it's like, and Art always asks reasonable money. He just wants to get out of his shop, so it wasn't going to be price. It was just, for me, it was space. What am I going to do with this bloody thing? But it was cool. Here we go. We've seen these.
There's a couple of nice Emersons.
Yeah, $20. That's pretty reasonable.
They look like the lids are not warped either. That's what usually happens with these things. The lids warp, and then if they get so bad, they won't close.
What's this?
The on-off switch to the radio is the lid.
Yeah, right. They look to me these look to be both in pretty decent shape.
Yeah.
$20 seems reasonable to me.
Stereo.
Yeah, there you go. RCAC, always see these.
Yes.
Lunchbox.
Yeah, see these almost every show. Nice enough radio.
I don't know if they called that was part of the Globetrotter line or not, but that's actually a decent radio.
Is that $5? I hope that says 50. If it is, it better be restored. Maybe it is restored. Maybe they were asking 50. It's a nice radio. Clean lines. I'd not mind it.
Good handle.
Yeah. No, it's probably been restored. I'm thinking it's probably a legitimate $50. That's probably not too unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
This one can't be $50 though.
Nope. That's a
Well,
photo picture.
Another one right behind that revetment.
Yeah, Greg could fix that up in a week.
They overwhelmed us.
Yeah, actually, I picked one up like that at Radio Fest.
Oh yeah.
The grill was in better shape than that one, though. The only thing that was missing the handle. I think I have
Oh,
a
okay.
handle here somewhere. I think it's a
That's a two-bander though. It's not just a regular AM.
Yeah.
It's got the police band on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little tired, but it's you know, it's fixable, and I know it's definitely Greg fixable.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, um,
Wait, have you run out of pictures? Oh, there it is.
oh no, yeah, no, I've got plenty still. Let me see these invariably. It's, you know, I know what they're asking, but you know, hopefully, I think that says $5. No, does it say 35? Ooh, that does seem ambitious.
Wow.
That's an ambitious number.
Yeah, I think that said 35. I'm pushing it, but I think I see a 3 up there, and that just doesn't, you know. If I don't think
Missing
that
the handle.
I don't think they left the table at that price.
Somebody has to tell them there's not a 1L6 in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The handle's missing too.
Yeah.
yeah. I'd have to.
You got to hold that like a football. That's no fun.
Yeah, you got to put a decimal point between the 3 and the 5.
Yeah, maybe 350. There you go.
Yeah,
Now it's fair.
yeah, exactly for the work it needs. Yeah, that's probably about right. Ah, yes.
Oh, I love it. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's the guy. What's his name? Lenny. He does all these radios. He specializes in these. He has terrific stuff. There's more pictures. I have better pictures, but you can see all the nice various
Yes.
zeniths, you know, the owl eyes, and just looking at it all. I was like, wow, look at this. It's fun just to look at it, right?
It's kind of cool that he's got he's got pretty much all the generations of the Royal 500 there, not all the colors, but I see to the right there with the cases, a couple of Royal 400s, which are
Yep.
basically a Royal 500, except it doesn't have push-pull audio.
Mm.
That's just, I just like the display that has all
Yeah.
the different ones there. It's really neat.
He does terrific work, and I obviously must sell in Radio Attic, I assume, just because I see it here. So I assume he's a seller on there. But yeah, he's in New Hampshire. I think I have more photos, so I think I have more close-ups because he has some neat like Channel Master stuff and things he was selling. I thought were pretty. Yeah, speak of the devil, he had this set of Channel Master that looked like it rolled out of the factory. We just like, you know, look at this. It's just like it's fun to look at, you know.
They were made by Sanyo, and they were actually pretty good radios.
Yeah, they were, and they're kind of fun to, you know. Like I said, this looks like a brand spanking new.
That's in really nice condition.
He had a twin.
Oh God, look at this.
Yeah,
Also a nice condition.
yeah.
What's the thing
Beautiful.
below it that says thermistor?
Thermistor.
Yeah, it's in the below this radio. If you scroll up or pull out, zoom out.
I'm as in as I can.
Yeah, no, you have to go, you know, out.
Wait, what am I?
No, that
That's
is- you
six
gotta go the
transistor
other-
cordless.
You gotta go the
Yeah.
other way.
Sorry.
Yeah, keep going, keep zooming out, go away, and then try to go down. Maybe it's on another picture.
It might be on a different radio. I know you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on the radio that it's sitting on. There, right there. See, it says
Oh, you're right.
diode, thermistor.
Thermistor.
Yes.
I'm not sure what it's sitting on. You are correct. Good catch. I didn't. I'm not. Maybe I have a better shot in a moment. Let's see, because we saw these two. Oh, it's Panasonic. Yeah, a nice enough radio. Early mid 70s, I'd say. Maybe late 70s. That's probably like late 70s, I'd say. There's one of his Royal 500s.
Deluxe.
Deluxe.
I don't think I've ever seen that in that red maroon before. That must have been a limited run.
Yeah, and box and all.
Because they made that version, the 500H in 3 different color combinations. I never seen that in red before. That must be uber rare.
Well, that's just in case you. I think this is says flat rate pricing for. I took the
Look,
photo.
it's
Maybe,
right in the middle of us.
so if you are, yeah, Lenny, that's his name. I couldn't remember his last name, Bickford, and that's his charge for like having a look at the radio, which is not unreasonable to for that flat rate pricing. That's pretty reasonable. Well, here's another scene that's really quite nice.
That's an early one. That's a hand wired. And the only reason why I know that is the hand wires had the knobs with the line, the line going through it like that. So it's all point-to-point wiring in that radio.
Wow.
Can you imagine having to troubleshoot that?
Oy. Yeah.
But look at that. I mean, it looks like it just came out of the factory.
Yeah, it's in terrific.
Brand new, fresh 1955 hand-wired Zenith. There it is.
Yeah. In box and all, I think so. Just kind of find this scene.
They're pushing it in the double up top.
That AM, FM, and surround sound.
I think that's one of the circle of sound radios that Zenith had.
Yeah, I think so. It doesn't say it on there, but yes, I remember they had the neat. Maybe it's just a variant. It's kind of straight out of the
AFC.
Yeah, straight out of the 70s. It's kind of fun. I like it. I like it enough. Screen 70s. Oh, here's a little bit better photo of the last one, just a little more. Got a group photo. It said, smile. Oh, here's another channel master.
That's a model 6515. They came in black and red, and those I have a couple of them, and they are a DX machine.
A super fringe.
Really good radios.
8 transistor.
Super fringe.
Super fringe.
Super fringe. Not a term I would have thought of, but look at it. It's got the nice leather case and all. Really,
got the earphone.
Yeah,
they came with earphones. They even have an external antenna jack with a little wire you can plug in inside and put it up by a window.
I mean,
it's really and the nice part about those radios are they're easy to work on, and you can still find nice ones inexpensively if you shop.
Right. Yeah, it was neat. Caught my eye. Another look at it.
That's a 6515B. It's just like the other radio, but the fonts are a little bit different on the radio itself. But it's literally the same radio.
Looks like the handle was never used. It's all rolled up as if it left the factory.
Yeah, it's just cool.
Couple more of these are
the 2 Royal 400s with cases, it looks like.
Yeah, and the cases look to be in pretty nice shape.
Yep.
Overall, pretty nice. I mean, these are nice.
And those are the right cases for that radio. You notice that the cutouts kind of match the chrome and the knob, the cutouts for that.
Yeah. No, it's
they're good radios. They're 7 transistor. They just don't have push-pull output.
Neat.
There's what you were talking about, Bob, with the early FM.
No, I think that's just a 10S669.
Is it?
Yeah, from 42. That's just the 2 shortwave bands in AM.
Yeah, that one doesn't have the FM. I had the 12 tube like that had FM.
Do you?
Yeah, I did it one time. Yeah.
This radio must have came from the New York area, judging from the radio stations: WOR, ABC,
TIC from Hartford, DRC from. I think DRC was either Hartford or New Haven. I can't remember.
Yeah, so the Connecticut New York radio. Yeah, nice shape. I mean, really.
Aren't we glad that the FM band isn't 42 to 50 megacycles? Because everybody would be driving their cars with like an 8-foot whip on it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the people with the CB antennas they used to mount on the car that had the nice big whip.
Oh, believe me, there's a gang of guys literally a town over from me, and they drive around in Suburbans with, multiple ambulance alternators, and Dave made 1,500 watt 11-meter linears in them, and it's great when I'm like DXing the radio or something like that, and all of a sudden I hear in the background, yeah, and just go with the 11-meter CB cackling. I love it.
Well, here's
Oh,
another Zenith.
That's a 41 Zenith 7S. Don't remember the rest of it because it's a different cabin. They're usually, most of these were table radios.
Right.
Mhm.
And most of them had the rubber falling apart wires.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
Isn't that like the one you worked on, Noah?
Yes, it is. I recognize those tone controls on either side that
Oh yeah.
had basically bare wires going to them at this point.
Yeah, we didn't eat attractive radio.
'Cause I've got the table model version of that, like what Bob was saying. It's a 7-tube.
And I had to go get new rubber gasket to put the glass in. And someone, who was it, Howard? Somebody sold me the glass. They had the glass.
Oh,
But
So
somebody-
Greg, yours was the 7S529, and I have a 6S529.
okay. See, and I've got the 42 version as well. It was my grandparents bought it new in 1942, the 7S 633.
7S659, yeah,
633, I think it is.
or 633. Yeah, I've got it over here.
Yeah, that's the
While it's
one.
coming through.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice radio. Both these the cabinets are in very nice shape.
They're in great shape.
And a racetrack. That's
And
nice.
Oh,
racetrack one,
The white dial racetrack.
$150.
That's actually a pretty good
Works.
deal for that.
Yeah, it is.
AM shortwave, yeah, it works. And it's in very nice. Actually, I saw that. And
It's a rare amp.
I gave a good look at that. And I said, I did stare at it longingly.
I literally have that radio, but it's a different style cabinet than that. This is the
Yeah.
most. I think this is 5S319, and I've got a 320, and the cabinet's just a little bit longer, but it's the same 5-tube radio.
Yeah, I think yours probably has a speaker sitting next to it, and this one has a speaker on the side, so the cabinet's a little narrower. That's actually a very compact cabinet. It looks bigger than it really is on that picture.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
that big. No, this is taken. This is sitting on the ground too, but yeah, it's not that big. It's definitely a local-ish radio because I see, WBZ, WHCH. What's this one?
And you can see somebody tried prying the knobs off, and then what happens is you break the
Yeah, break the
skirt
ring
off.
The knobs are chipped.
Yeah.
The ring on the outside part of the knob is gone.
Yeah.
You got to use a slightly gentler claw hammer when you're trying to pull those off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those little tools that you use for taking like door handles off of cars inside, those little like pry bar things work pretty good for those.
Yep.
Yeah. These are like the guitars, so like taking the knobs off of like electric guitars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Another Zenith. I don't think it's the same one. Maybe it is. $50. Now we know what the real price was.
Oh my God.
B2.
That's a bargain for that.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal.
As long as nobody took the 1L6 out of it, that's a bargain.
Yeah.
Stupid 1L6 still goes for $30.
Right.
At least around here anyway. Motorola.
Yeah, look at that. Little clock radio.
That is in your face.
Yeah, from the front, it mostly looks like clock.
Yeah, I know. It's
a little radio at the back. In your face clock.
It's one of those clocks that millennials could not possibly ever tell you what time it was because
Yeah, right.
not only is it round, but it has Roman numerals on it.
Yeah. Oh, whoa. What's that?
Totally lost.
XII. What's an XII?
Yeah.
A VI?
Well, I got beaten up in Catholic school to learn my Roman numerals. I was at an NJARC meeting one time and somebody was showing a movie or whatever and no one knew the date on the film. And I did, 1948.
Right.
How do you know? I said, well, you see the numbers there on there, that they're letters.
MCML XLVI, blah, blah, blah. You know, you
Yeah.
got to try to catch it at the bottom of every.
Yeah, I always
enjoy.
enjoyed. I do too.
Perry
I always,
Mason. It's like, is this a 1961? Is this
Yeah.
a 1958?
yeah, no, I always enjoy decoding it. I always look. Yeah, that's all.
I
part of the
was,
game.
I probably shouldn't admit this, but I could probably get away with admitting it at this group. There was one time when I decided I was in the junior bowling league. And so I on the telescore where you had the little yellow pencils and it would project up, you know,
Yep.
Mhm.
Yes.
I started keeping score in Roman numerals.
That's
Just
fun.
to tick everybody off.
Yep.
Hey, did anybody ever score a CCC?
Yeah. Not in that league.
No?
We were all like, 10, 11, 12-year-olds or something like that. But
Oh, there's a tired Transoceanic Mile 3000.
Yeah, does look a little tired, but it's all there. At least it looks like it's all there.
patina.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Vintage patina. Ah, it's your Zenith Royal.
That's a radio you don't see too often.
No.
Royal 710. It had knob brights all over the shafts though that are missing.
Oh, okay.
But it looks pretty clean. I mean, it's just dirty.
Yeah.
The thread still looks good. Stitching.
Yeah. No, it's certainly more than salvageable. I got what we have.
Wow.
Okay, I'm lost.
Yeah, what is that?
I think I have a better shot of it. It's an Admiral.
Admiral.
Wow.
Admiral, look at that. See,
Oh my God.
Yeah, see those very often. That's why I said, oh, this caught my attention. How I can't think like,
It's like a curved dash.
Yeah, what do you use? The
Oldsmobile.
fish?
yeah.
That's a lot of tenite.
I
Yeah.
wonder how bad it smells.
Yeah.
It's neat because it's like the opening doors. I was like, wow, it's like
There's
pretty
got to be.
nifty. There we go.
there's
It's a better shot.
There's a record changer lurking behind those
No,
doors.
most assuredly, behind those doors is 100 cans of tuna fish.
Look at that. A
Tone
band
control. Look at that.
switch.
I love this. I mean, this is right out of Dashboard. I mean, look at the writing. It's classic Art Deco. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Norm.
I mean, look at that. And then this says
Presets?
selector. Presets.
Oh, no,
Whoops,
it's-
whoops, sorry about that.
When you hit the norm button, does a heavyset guy from Cheers come out of the
Yeah.
bar?
Yeah.
Norm.
Maybe that's a bar in the middle of that radio with the French doors there.
But look at that. It's just, I love the look of it. It's really cool. It really is.
Station selector.
Yeah.
WEEI.
Oh, that's one of the presets.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
WEEI. Well, it used
Yeah.
to be it used to be on the AM band, like around 590 or something.
It looked like somebody wrote on, yeah, they wrote on the switches what these things
Yeah.
did. Because that doesn't look, that's certainly not factory. Bass, alto, music. They must have, maybe it had the tabs and maybe they just sort of lifted off or disappeared or, because it looked like some stuff.
WEEI was right now it's a sports talk station around 900 kilohertz or thereabouts, but
Oh,
it
okay,
used
I
to
got
be very low on the band, and what it stood for was Edison Electric something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, they were way down at 590 on AM, and then they
Wow.
actually right now they're on FM. Well, they might be on both, but they're an FM. They've been an FM station for a while.
Yeah.
Huh.
A neat system because you don't see these very often. I think this is the first one I've ever seen. You just don't see.
I've never seen one.
I've never seen one either.
I think it's really cool.
You never opened the doors?
Why I didn't is beyond me. I don't think, I'm almost sure I didn't. I guess sometimes I always feel like I shouldn't, it's because it's not my property, and I was like, well, I better not mess around. Who knows? The door will come off in my hands. Ah!
Yeah, congratulations, you
The
own it.
Chihuahua runs out and starts, gnawing at your wrist or something.
But it was pretty cool. Here's another Zenith here, Oaks. I'm missing all the knobs. So this one's a little bit,
It's got to be a 6-tube.
this needs more loving. Not serious loving, but it needs some loving.
Well, it needs a set of knobs.
Yeah, it needs
Yeah.
about $100 worth of knobs at least.
Yeah, that's the
Yes.
problem. Yeah. But
I actually have a 12 tube shutter dial that has that style of cabinet.
Look
I
at the
don't get
size of
I
the,
get the number of it.
if that's to be believed, it's got to be at least a 12-inch speaker in the bottom there. So
yeah,
That's a big speaker on that puppy.
big. Yeah, it's a big honking one. Yeah. What do we got here? Kenwood.
Kenwood and Lafayette
Lafayette. Little,
with its Rollo style control knobs.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. That was kind of neat.
Now I want Rollos.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see a GE sitting off to the side here. Oh, there it was. I actually got the photo. It's actually a nice shape. Dusty, as you can see, but in really nice shape.
It's got a curved dial. How come you're not
Yeah.
all going nuts over that one?
Well, I'm actually what made the Admiral Special, I loved all that extra lettering and all the 30s style. It
Yeah.
really kind of, but yes, I think this is an attractive radio. I would not mind this. Not mind. It's like a very nice shape.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
And Central Electronics Inc.
Yep.
Chicago.
VFO.
Really nice shape, whatever it is. You don't see these very often.
This is a VFO.
Yeah. Well. Well, I think this would be a good spot to park this because it is 9:01, but it is a couple of.
Oh, we got an ICOM and what is that?
Let's see if I can get in
What is
closer.
that? Oh, they're both ICOM.
Oh yeah. You are
Going to
correct.
45th Street for the medical with paramedic.
Data level.
Yeah. But anyway, boys,
All right.
Alrighty.
That was good.
this is good. So next meeting will be a round robin. I can if I can't, I can always show something, but I can always show some more photos on my slot. So there'll be plenty to see. So any rate, great having you guys. Enjoy your upcoming 2 weeks. And we will be seeing you on the 21st.
All right.
In the meantime, great having you. And thanks for joining as always. Made for another fun meeting. So take care of yourselves, guys.
Okay.
They just push C, 3 of them?